So by now, this is adventure number 3. You should have a basic idea of what you're doing in Crimson Cutlass, so I'm going to less go through the mechanics and more just tell you what's happening in the story. Now, I flipped the King of Rods as the patron. That would be a local noble. I'm going to pick Leo. He's the Baron of Marseille, and the man I suspect who may be my father. This man delights in his land, his riches, his power, and his goodwill. A very powerful figure in the campaign. The mission he's sending me on is a 5 of coins. I'm to locate a missing person. I'm to find his daughter, but it's his daughter by his first wife. Many of the nobles would have several wives during their lifetime. She may have run off to elope, he thinks. Her name is Josephine, and she was last seen with her mother in Montpellier. Now, Montpellier is a place of religious discord at this moment. He says he lost touch with them when the war between the anti-Baptists escalated. The gal was secretly Lady Jade. Ah, that's interesting. We need to answer the question of why she changed her name. Also, this would be my half-sister, and that would be socially awkward if I am, in fact, Leo's bastard son. And the motive is the Ace of Cups. It's simple monetary concerns. Most of these powerful figures in the Renaissance and the Reformation, their family was only treated them as money. But in this case, tens of thousands of doubloons are at risk in her dowry if she'd go to the wrong side, his enemies. Now, I flipped 3 tribulation cards related to the finances. The first was the Tower inverted. Anything the patron supplies me for the quest will be lost in the epilogue. That would hint that he's going to give me a ship, and it will be sunk by accident somewhere along the way. And it could be just pure coincidence, or it could be design. And the second card I flipped for that was a High Priestess. Someone else is lending finances for the mission. And who would that be? Well, I'll have to flip another card for who. And in this case, I flipped the Knave of Coins, and I got the Pirate Captain. And I'm going to call it Adam Ivan, who lent Leo a ship, and that'll be the ship I'll be using on the mission. It's going to prompt 2 questions as I generate encounters. Why would he be helping me, and how will he feel when his ship sinks in the epilogue? I'm going to let the adventurer answer both of these. He could cause the mishap to erase his brother's co-conspirator. Be hard to time this, admittedly, unless he has infiltrated himself as well into the crew. Now, just because I have Adam on the ship and I've seen him, doesn't mean as a spy, like myself, he would not be able to blend in. I'll let the encounters decide whether or not we bring him back to the forefront or just keep him in the background as a threat. Now, it seems I also have a moon card inverted for the tribulations on the finances, and up to 3/4 of the ship's crew and marines are traitors. They're just pirates all. It's a mixed force of men that are loyal to Adam and also to the rival Gabriel that we'll find out later. And the finances were the Queen of Cups. Leo can use government of France to help, but in doing so, it will make the quest a public record and a public scandal. So I have to treat his patronage as less involved because of that. I flipped a modifier card for the twist, and also it was on the Unfathomable card of the Force, inverted. I will face the rival in a climax battle where the player's forces have the edge. The rival may still bring massive forces to bear, but I, as Henri, will be able to outmaneuver them. And I think this suggests the fact that since the rival, it'll turn out, will be the King of Swords, an army officer, and I'm going to use Gabriel from one of the first adventures I was on as the King's Horse Guard, a captain in the King's Horse Guard, and he commands several vying companies. In this case, he'll bring his horsemen, but I'm going to be on my ship on the river, so he won't be able to attack me outright. He'll lose all his advantages for being on the land with the horses when I can just use my naval cannonry to fire on him. And the twist is the Queen of Coins. It's an ultra-secret society, the Wool Cartel of Das Kappas in Saxony. It's inside Bavaria on the border, close to Montpellier. That works out well because being close to Montpellier, we also have the religious dissenters of the Anti-Baptists in Montpellier, and I'm trying to have a Reformation-themed campaign. Principally, a cartel of gentlemen smugglers, a gang of captains and majors who control companies, ships, and warehouses. Their bankable commodity is especially financed by supplying uniforms for almost every military in the old world. So they would be like the Under Armour and the Nike of this campaign. Now, they are widely spread in this cartel, and they have warehouses and agents in almost every land of the Major 10, and this cartel has secretly planted spies and turncoats in other secret societies like the Bullington Club and the Fugars. But they're only really there to spread rumors and disinformation. And by the end of the quest, both Leo and the rival, who in this case is going to be Gabriel, are going to be abducted by the Das Kappas and brought to a secret tribunal of cloaked envoys to arbitrate. My character, Henri, will have no part in this whatsoever, and he's not going to be privy to any of the outcome. Das Kappas is simply watching Henri. We don't know why. His relation, it could be his relation to the dockmaster and stopping cargoes of wool coming into Marseille. It could be his personal savvy and that they're grooming him for greater things. It could be revenge, it could be recruitment, it could be just simple amusement. And again, only the adventures that follow after this will tell. His friends, the rival of Gabriel, his friends, he's also friends of the Lord High Mayor Flambeau, so I can introduce Flambeau back in the mission. I can also say that he's a supporter of the rising figure in the court, Cardinal Richelieu. And Cardinal Richelieu wants to be Chancellor of France during the weak king of Alexander. And that would prompt more Reformation-style events of Jay, and I also have other choices in here where the friar, Francis, could be sicking the Inquisition on me, which would be a G result on my Reformation table, or it could just be a basic mission of the persecutions of the Anabaptists, which would drive us to C. We add one more shocking fact, but with the judgment card, that the rival's forces respect him so much that they would rather die than see Gabriel humiliated again for losing his uniform. Interesting. So he's more of probably a sympathetic figure, a D'Artagnan type. And if you're not into anti-heroes like the Henri I'm playing, the bawdy pirateer, you probably would be even more sympathetic to what Gabriel is going through as a D'Artagnan-style musketeer archetype. And the ace in the hole also is that the rival is constrained. His forces can only be used a few times, so I can either ignore knaves outright, and I'll decide this as the adventure takes place, because he lacks the money or ability to equip these guys in the field. He's not the treasurer of France. He's just a respected horse guard that can recruit other people to help him. But I have to raise the difficulty of at least one roll in the climax by the number of knaves that are generated, or if I skip any knave during adventure, then that modifier of -1 to my dice roll is going to apply all throughout the climax. An example of this, if I meet 3 knaves during the adventure, that would be a def mod of +3 for at least one battle or dice roll that I make in the climax. Now, all of that was generated by flipping cards, and you've seen some of that in the background of this video here, and where they were found in the book. Cutlass is amazing in the way it can generate detailed missions on the fly.